This is Pusha Wheats Catan. If you know, you know. Coming at you with Game 3 of the Name the Kid Challenge. If you're just joining, the rules are we're playing 1v1 Catan. We need a 75% win rate. And if we win, we get to name the firstborn child of my friend. The randomly generated name given to us by colonist.io. And we are playing to name the child Gurias 1683. Unfortunately, last game, the second game in the series, we did come off with a loss. So we are only at a 50% win rate, but plenty of Catan left to play, and we will see how this game goes. So here is our Game 3 board, and we are placing second. Right off the bat, I'm noticing that there is really only one good ore spot here, which is at 8-5-10. And that's really important in this game for being able to level up your cities and also be able to get development cards. So that's probably going to be the one that goes first. And so I'm trying to think to myself, what can I do to be able to work around that and still be able to either port resources or build to that 8 eventually so that we can still be competitive. My opponent actually takes the 8-5-3, which I am noticing is probably the more balanced spot here. But that does leave me with a decision for where I go next. And in situations like this, I'm looking for a good number distribution and also where can I get an advantage with other things like road building materials. So right away, that 6, 9, 10 on the bottom right stands out to me, as well as the 5, 10, 9. The reason being is that this is the strongest of the road building materials and the wheat and sheep left on the board. And I do have that sheep port, so I will be able to use that to my advantage. So I do end up making those placements, and I decide to do the 5, 9, 10 first. The reason being simply that when I take the 6, 9, 10, I do get that free road right away. Always good to get a strong starting position with that, and it's going to let me get to that sheep port even faster. I'm trying to make sure that I end up being able to produce ore, even if it's through a port, fast as I can so that I can start being competitive with building cities and dev cards. My opponent then places on that 6-2-4, and this is interesting to me because it's really leaving them with very little options for wheat. We know that you're not going to be trading in 1v1, so there's no ports available to them either with the way that their roads are facing. And so I think that that road placement was a mistake. I think that their second placement was a mistake, and I'm ready to get going with this game. So as we get going, I usually try to slow roll my resources and my placements, because the longer that you do that, the longer that the friendly knight is in play and then your opponent can't block you, as I did just do right there. But in this case, I am in a race here because I am trying to get to that sheep port and be able to produce ore. And also, just given the way that the opponent has placed their first roads, they are not going to be competitive with me to get that 8 spot. They're also never going to self-block there. So now that I get that placement down there, I have accomplished 2 things. 1, I have a really strong ore spot. 2, I have a wheat port and a sheep port now with very strong wheat and very strong sheep. And as you see my game progress, I settle on all of the strongest wheat spots and sheep spots. And I think that the only thing that my opponent has going for them right now is the city before me, but I am able to place that as well. So at this point, I have a really good setup. I'm in the lead with longest road. I have more development cards. And then next thing you know, I get a dream roll. The dice rolls a 6. And so now I have a huge amount of road building materials in my hand. And just to make sure that I stay ahead in the race for largest army, I do play an aggressive knight. And to my surprise, I get another road in my hand. And with my ports, I'm able to do one of my favorite sick moves in the game. I'm going to lay down the plow and make sure that my opponent has no opportunity to build any further in that direction. And just like that, the victory screen pops up. My opponent actually resigned from the game, just knowing that there were no options left available. And a win is a win. That was absolute domination, and coming off of a loss, that's exactly what I want to see. The confidence is back in the challenge. I get all 15 points, get the win, and I'm at a 66% win rate. So I just got to keep going, play 7 more games to get that ranked win percentage. And if I keep up this pace, I will be naming the kid Gurias. So thank you all for watching. I will catch you in the next one.